Yo, chat. How's it going? Thought I'd jump on here and do a cheeky live stream because, you know, it's a Saturday afternoon in England right now. It's a good vibe. And, you know, I've been practicing for some, for the Guitar Summit coming up. And I thought, you know, why not just share the stream? So, yeah, how's everyone doing? Welcome. Just going to hang out for a bit. I figured what I would do is play some, later on, I'll play some tunes that I'm practicing. But I wanted to mess around with the Archetype Misha because I'm aware that a bunch of people didn't get the presets on launch, which is a little bit of a shame. And they've been asking me loads about getting the presets, so I'll try and figure that out and give those to you guys in a folder maybe. And then I'm also gonna see what it sounds like putting my synth in front of the glitch. So we're gonna mess around with a bunch of stuff today. But to start things off, I thought, why not? Let's just have a little chat and see how things are going. So, how's everyone? How's everyone's weekend been so far? I'm doing well. I had a good day today so far. Walked my dog, went to the gym, came back, and now I'm just practicing for the Guitar Summit. There's a bunch of songs that I'm playing. I ran through them once so far, and they're rusty as hell. It's that thing where you play clinics and, you know, you go and play these tunes in places and then realize, hang on a minute, it's been a while. It's been months since I've played them. So now I'm trying to remember how to play them. There's certain licks and little bits that I keep messing up. So, but, you know, I figured warts and all, why not share that process with you guys? And you can hear all my mistakes. But yeah, currently I'm running, if anyone can hear that sound, that's the wind outside my vents on my house. In case you're wondering what the tone is, I'm running this preset, which is public from my last stream that you can find on my Cortex Cloud app profile. If you want to mess with it, you can download this exact preset. Don't worry about the Corey Wong and the gate on row 4 down there. That's for my voice. You can get rid of that. But that's what this tone is. So that's the tone that I'm running currently. It's, let's show you on a bigger screen. It's running 2 Krakens in stereo, and I've got Tube Screamer in front, IR block, EQ to poke out the mids a bit more. Then I'm running a delay and a reverb. Very simple, very easy. And it sounds good. Interface that I'm plugging into is the Universal Audio Arrow. It's a bus-powered little USB-C powered rig. The only downside of using this one currently is it only has 2 mic-ins, so it's made things a little complicated when I've been trying to do like the plug-in video and stuff. But generally speaking, it's nice and easy to use at home. So I basically plugged my guitar into QC, 2 XLRs out into the Universal Audio, and then from there, you're hearing the audio interface. So that's basically what's happening. Yeah, very simple. Looking fighting fit. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I'm really working on the health, so I'm glad it's going well and I'm feeling good. So I'm happy about that. So my plugin's the next one to get in the quad. I don't know. Hopefully. I don't know when that is, but you know, I can't wait for that to happen. It'd be really, really cool for us to be able to get that going, so I can bring all my presets, because I made so many presets for my plugin that I would love to get on QC so that I can mess with those. And we write with my plugin in Vower when we're doing all of our writing sessions, and it'd be really nice to be able to get those presets thrown into Quad Cortex so that we can, because I save all of those presets during the writing session, so it'd be nice to be able to use some of those, especially the synth presets. So we'll see. Good morning from the States. Good morning, Nick. Whereabouts in the States are you hailing from? So, go back to that screen. Yeah, in Connecticut, East Coast. Nice. Never been to Connecticut. Super dirty sound. Love it. Well, let's throw on a little bit more reverb. Why not? Complete nonsense. I'm just showing you what it sounds like for lead. It's quite fun. What was I going to say? I just saw someone say, no, I'm not at Sweetwater. I'm not at Sweetwater. I'm at the Guitar Summit. That's where I'm going to be. Let's have a look. If you make a preset on Quad Cortex right now, can I load it onto my Nano? No, you can't. Two different sort of ecosystems. So that won't work. Well, obviously captures and stuff will work if you download a preset with a capture. I'm assuming you can transfer that if that capture's in your library. I have your plugin and it's amazing. However, some of the tones, the middle amp especially, tends to have a little spongy tone without the overdrive. Any tips on making it tighter? Well, the middle amp is meant to be a little bit spongy. It's kind of that way out. It's designed, it's more of a crunch amp, but it can be designed to go tighter if you want. What you can do is throw the tube screamer on and pull the bass down, and that will tighten it up. But it's not necessarily meant to be like a super tight high gain amp. That's the thing with my plugin. I think that people may have been maybe misled in a way, is that it's not really. I wouldn't consider myself like a full-on genty metal player. Like I'm not. I like high gain tones and I like riffs that are aggressive, but I wouldn't say that I'm like dialing in specifically archetypal metal tones. Like, so for me, my plugin is designed around the kind of heavy tones that I like, which isn't for everybody. You know, if you want metal tones, then you want like Gojira or the new Misha plugin or like 14 Cali or whatever. But for me personally, I prefer those looser, more aggressive, more angry sounding heavy tones. Works better for my style. So, but yeah, if you want to tighten up the middle amp, I would use a tube screamer, pull the bass down, maybe the depth as well on the amp itself. Misha isn't going to join. This isn't in the name of the new Archetype. This is just me hanging out, messing around, and then I'm going to throw on the Archetype in a moment, and we'll mess around and see what kind of cool tones we can get. I've got Logic set up in here as well with screen grabs, so we should be able to do that. Neck pickup. Anyway, shall we do that? Shall we mess around with... let's mess around. So I want to be going to this one. And then last thing I need to do is go back to my directory and do stream grid so that my voice is still there. But now we're getting... Yeah. So... Whoops. Yeah, I need to figure this out, actually. Well, how am I going to do that? My voice is going to come through the plugin as well in Logic. That was a mistake. Either way, we can make it work. Just need to mute the dry DI. So the first thing that was probably worth doing is putting my plugin into the glitch. So if we open up Rabea X, let me know if you can hear this. That would make sense. If I go out to... Sorry, guys. I should have figured this out beforehand, shouldn't I? Output 2. And then output 2. That's going to be... That wants to be output 1. I bet I'm only coming out of one side now, aren't I? Check. And then, yeah, there you go. So if I go advanced audio properties. Right, for now, I'm just going to be coming out on the right side. Bear with me while we mess, because this is more about the tone than my voice. Sorry, dudes. I'll figure it out on the next stream. So, can you hear this? Yeah, okay, we can hear that. All right. As long as we can hear that, that's good. I'm gonna mute that just in case that sounds weird. Right. Let's just mess with this a bit. All right. Let's start with that. And then I'm going to add Archetype Misha. Where is it? There it is. Ah. Why is it in? That's annoying. If I go. So what I'm basically trying to do is load up a plugin in stereo, because in Logic you can usually do mono to stereo, and it's weird. There we go. Yeah. So I want Rabea X mono to stereo. I thought it sounded weird, and then beyond that I want Misha Mansour stereo, and then what I need to do is just turn off Archetype Misha for a sec, turn on the synth. There we go. For everyone just tuning in, hi and thank you. We're just working this out as we go, and I'm on the right-hand side. You'll have to bear with me for now. I need to get a bigger interface that allows me to do this without messing around in the way I am. But as long as you can hear the voice a little bit, we're mainly focusing on Logic right now. I'm going to try put my synth through the Misha plugin with the glitch. So let's do that. So next I'm just going to load up Misha. Let's have a listen. Right. So turn off the effects, turn off all that stuff. So I want some reverb and delay. And then we want the glitch on. And I'm going to put it on interfere. Maybe we go back to texturizer. What might be nice is going to my artist presets and grabbing cloudy lead synth. That will work quite well into this. Let's do that. Maybe we'll turn up the occurrence. Let's try this as well. like it could be. Okay, so one of the things I'm noticing here is that it's, yeah, that's a good time to join the stream just now where it's just going proper random. And so the glitch is mono, which is a shame because what's happening is I'm feeding my stereo synth into the glitch, which is mono, and it's summing it down in, well, it's making it mono. And the problem is that it's starting to sound kind of phasey, which is unfortunate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap them round so that I'm going from a mono signal into a stereo like this. Let's see what happens now. Obviously, it means that I'm glitching the sound ahead of the synth, which might create some really interesting textures. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. On the interfere setting, let's turn off the effects on Misha and keep mine on. So let's just put it in the up position. It's not as fun that way around, so I'm going back this way around. I'm going to drop off that. Yes. I wish it was stereo. So then I guess if I make this, I take the detune off and we just have no unisons. So like, well, that's not as fun. Oh, this is starting to sound interesting. This is starting to sound really fun. synth sound a bit cooler. It's sounding a bit funny to me. Can we turn that? Whoa. We don't need the gate that high either. What happens if we turn the laser on? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Okay, we're getting a bit silly now. Okay. So, it's definitely fun, but weird. Someone said it sounds like Game of Thrones. Anyway, the ghost of Miku. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get it not to sound like that at the minute, but I can keep messing. That is wild. Okay. Okay, so we do know that you can do some cool stuff going into both. That's wild. Just turn that off. Anyway, let's go to my user presets. So I'm not in there. Oh, where are they? Mine should be under new user. Oh, wait a second. Bear with me, guys. I'll find them. Because I have them. Import. Bear with me one sec. Okay. Maybe I can't. Because I updated it with the new version, so I guess they got wiped. But I still have them. Okay. I'll figure this out in a minute. Let's go back to the default. So, I mean, this is how it's set up currently. Yeah, I wonder if it is his invective. I have no idea. It's annoyed me that I can't find my presets. I definitely have them. Let's open Dropbox. I know they're in here somewhere. Where would I have put them? This is the problem when you use Dropbox for everything. It's not very well organized. Neural DSP assets. Sorry, guys. This isn't very interesting for a stream. Never mind. Let's do it another time. Sorry. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Turn that off. And let's go back to something that we know. Okay. Back to some stereo vocals. All right, let's go to the chat because there's a lot going on here. Whilst I was messing around, the lack of lag is wild. Wonder how much RAM you're running. There's 64 gig, I think, in here. This is an M2 MacBook Pro M2 Max. So I went to town on the spec back in the day. And it still handles really well, still does. Now I use one of the new M4 Mac Minis at the studio for mixing. So yeah, love the synth. Can't wait for it to be on QC. Neither can I. Yours is the only one having so much gain and bass. Even when I select the clean presets, it drives so much. There's definitely more low end in mine, but it's quite easy to get rid of that. I just wanted to feel thickness in the tones, so that's important. I believe I believe my plugin is one of the coolest pieces of kit Neural released. I mean, the synth is just sick, and I'm still finding new sounds with it. So, and we've used it all over the place. On the vower record as well. By the way, vower are going on tour. If you want to come and check that out, there's ticket links in the description of this stream. We've also got tour access passes where you can win 3 Neural DSP plugins per show. We were doing 12 shows, and we're giving away 3 Neural DS plugins per show, GGD Modern Massive 2 per show, Ernie Ball strings, picks, straps, and cables per show. So you could win Misha, you could get Misha, you could get mine, you could get whichever ones you want, basically. So I think that's sick. So if you are in the UK or Europe, check the dates of the tour in November. And if you want to get the access pass, you also get to come to Soundcheck and hang out with us, and we'll go through all our gear and we'll take tour photos and hang out and chat and all the rest of it. But on top of that, in 10 spaces, you could win a Neural DSP plugin. So yeah, there's very good odds of actually getting that. So anyway, shameless plug over. If you want to come see vower on tour, which I would love to meet some of you guys from stream out on tour, then please do. How long should I practice each day to get good? I think it's just a case of what you're practicing. I think playing every day is really important. I think that's a good thing to do if you want to improve. It's more about being conscious of what you're practicing and what you're playing, he says, and I don't really do that, but that's what I recommend. Where we got something mixed with the granifier is what I know. Yeah, that's what I heard as well, but I'm not really sure. The vocal volume is much better than the last stream. Thanks. 5150 plus granifier according to the team. Yeah, that's what I thought. The voice switch changed it to granifier, but I'm not really sure. More cores and RAM mainly means more tracks, though. The 8 gigs should be fine for one track. Yeah, you don't need to beef up the computer to ridiculous spec to be able to run these plugins. I mean, I always build a MacBook, like spec it to last me years and years and years. I've had this MacBook pre-lockdown, so I've had it a long time, and it works well for me. It's working I think I've had it pre-lockdown. I could be wrong, but I think I have. And it works really well, and I still don't have any issues with it. It's got to a point with Macs where these new ones, these M processor ones, they're just ridiculous. Whatever spec you get, they just all seem to be awesome. Should you practice what you're into most, or focus on all around skill base? I think it really depends. Technique, melody, harmony, phrasing, you know, I think it all comes into it. It really depends what you're like. I used to learn songs a lot. I used to go home and I used to learn like my favorite tunes, Extreme and, you know, Satriani and, you know, bits of The Darkness and Tom Morello and all that stuff. I used to sit there, John Petrucci songs, and go home and learn them. And I think that really helps because you're passively learning technique, you're passively learning tone production, you're passively learning articulation like slides and bends and stuff. And then when you apply that to your own creative output and stuff, I mean, it's different between being creative and practicing, right? So I don't think there's any harm in learning other people's songs if we're talking about specific practice. It's way more fun than sitting down and running scales if you're learning someone else's stuff that inspires you and makes you excited to want to be able to play that. Like for me, I was like, I want to know what it feels like to play Get the Funk Out, you know, by Extreme. I want to know what it feels like to play Glasgow Kiss by John Petrucci. I want to enjoy the experience of playing that and producing that sound. So that's what I used to do. So the Music Man Sterling, as far as I understand it, is coming end of October. I'm almost certain now that it's coming the end of October. So that's really cool. What amps are you modeling in your plugin? The clean amp is a Fender Twin. The crunch amp is my Kraken channel 1, and the high gain amp is my Kraken channel 2. Those are the same amp model, Kraken models that are in QC now, Victor Squid, but we obviously modded them. Yeah, Rabea, how are you? Still love your old Chapman Sig, by the way. Favorite guitar. Awesome. Thanks, man. That's awesome. Putting a set of triptychs in my 77 Strat. I've heard you talk about the aluminium scratch plates. Can you elaborate? Yeah, so I have an aluminium scratch plate on my custom shop, and it definitely acts as some sort of tone. It like takes a bit of the spikiness out of the tone, maybe even sucks a bit of output. I'm not really sure, but my Strat with an aluminium scratch plate with those triptychs in sounds less intense than my Music Man Cutlass with the same pickups in. That's got more aggressive spank at the top end. Something about an aluminium scratch plate acts as like I'm not really sure the science behind it, but somehow it maybe tames the output and the high frequencies a little bit. It's interesting. Stupid guitar. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having 2 of them. That's ridiculously cool. And I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. I'm playing the green one today. This one's in drop C currently. Aluminium is paramagnetic. it would be affecting the field somehow. Yeah, that's a smart answer, you see. Learning songs is fun except for the fact that my favorite bands are Opeth and it's really difficult. Well, yeah, but that's the best bit. I really loved Extreme and Nuno Betancourt and stuff, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to overcome this, but I practiced and I stuck at it and I managed to get to the point where I could do it. And I think that's the point I'm getting at, is like, if you're excited about it and you want to be able to play those songs, then you keep practicing, you keep doing it and you keep enjoying it, and it works and it pays off. Practice, like anything, pays off. The rule of 10,000 hours is definitely true. So let's have a look. I think I need to slightly tune my guitar. It's a bit out. All right. So I said I was going to practice some tunes. So I may as well try that on stream, shall I? The funny thing about this, which you're going to laugh at this, right? Is that because the songs that I practice have scenes, my QC is on the desk over here, which you can't see. And I have to access the scene to change the tunings and the scenes and the presets and stuff mid-song. And it's really funny because I basically have to stop playing, change the scene. It's stupid. I should put it on the floor, but I don't. So that's what's going to have to happen. I mean, I wonder if I could. I don't know if it's easier to do it with the mouse. It's probably not. It's easier to whack a foot switch. As a wise man once said, we talk about practice. Doing any vower songbooks? Yeah, that's the plan eventually, to do some vower songbooks. Yeah, so this guitar's got 1052s in drop C, which is hilarious. But it's a lot of leady stuff, so I wanted to do that. Right, I'm going to at least run one song. Got to get the fast fret, I also stand up when I practice these songs because I'll be standing up when I'm performing them. So let's do that. The only other thing to point out is that when I practice these presets, I don't have a chat. My mic won't be active, so And then I'll come back to this preset when I do. So let's just run a song. So I was thinking I was going to do Just Cause We Are Here. And then I was going to do Arrival, I think, and potentially Growing Pains. So let's do Just Cause. So my mic's going to cut out. Oh, first things first, can you hear this? If you can, that's good. If you can, let me know. And then I'm going to move over to Just Cause. So you won't hear my voice for a minute. I'm just going to play the track. Thanks, chat. So there were some mistakes in that. It's this bit. Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you don't play them for a few months, it's not so much the whole song that you have to relearn. It's these tiny bits that you like when you're performing them and when you've learned them, you're not thinking about. I never thought about that particular run. It's not even hard, but you have these quick mind blocks where you're like, oh, crap, I can't remember what that bit is. Like where your fingers are going, you rely on muscle memory, and then all of a sudden you're like, I have no muscle memory, I don't know what's going on. And it's annoying. And that happens a lot for me. Not so much learning the whole song, it's those moments. And that's what that's my practice for these kind of songs. I get to a point where I'm like, I can't quite remember that bit where my fingers are meant to go at that next moment and stuff. So it's kind of annoying, but that's it. Yeah. I don't know any music theory. Very little. I know intervallics. That's about it. So yeah. Take number 655. What I like about doing live streams is you get this very mild like performance thing, like it's actual gig, which is kind of cool. Quite like that. Oh yeah, so if anyone was just watching, I could see someone said the panic click. So like I said, there are scenes for these songs, right, that I'm moving between, and my QC's on the table. So I'm like, rather than you changing it with my foot because it's on the table, I have to quickly lean over and like quickly click. It's so stupid, but it makes for an interesting navigational exercise. So that's quite fun. Rabea's YouTube live chat tone is better than half the studio albums put out these days. Thanks, guys. I try and make it, as good as I can. But there are little gremlins in the process that are making it funny, like having to change by hand the scenes when I'm running a song, which is stupid, but it's quite fun. Mistakes are unacceptable. Obviously, you don't practice enough. No, I should practice more. Use EQs such as the 10 band. I do use EQs, yeah. It really depends. Like in this situation, what we got on this preset, yeah, I've got an EQ running, as you can see. Let me just get it on a bigger, yeah, there you go. As you can see, I'm running, yeah, I'm boosting 8K. I'm like scooping it a bit. This is without. And then with. It just minor touches. To be honest, I made this preset during another stream, so it's very much just I wasn't spending tons of time on it. Depends on the song. Like for the Just Cause rhythm section, I had to EQ that quite a lot because I'm using transpose. So I'm transposing 3 semitones. So I wanted to make sure that I had a bit of a. It is a Mesmer statue. Yes, it is. This is my Elden Ring this is my From Software appreciation shelf. So we've got Mesmer in the middle. We've got the Hunter from Bloodborne over on the side there. We got Vike and his War Spear. I've got art books. I've got 2 Elden Ring art books. I've got a Dark Souls 3 art book, and I've got a Bloodborne art book. And then I got the Shadow of the Erdtree art book here as well. You set me off now. Yes, I got these from Japan as well when I was there. I'm a huge From Software fan. Love all the games, all of them. So I also have some Bloodborne pendants. I've got the Hunter's Wheel pendant, and I've got I can't remember what the other one is. It's really geeky either way, but It is what it is. Yeah, I could automate the switching in my DAW, in Logic and stuff like that for changing presets while I'm practicing, but I can't be bothered. I know it's going to be on the floor when I'm playing the gig, so I'm just going to use it on the floor. And I could get a Morningstar switcher or whatever, but that would just be for home purposes. It's ridiculous. Like, I could just put it on the floor, but I don't because I'm stupid. So there is that. Full screen yourself shelf. By the way, gaming channel will be sick. Yeah, so I asked the chat, I asked my community page about doing get streaming games, and everyone was like up for the idea, but not on this channel, which I understand because this is a guitar channel. But I will do it on. I think I might do it on a different channel. I just need to build a PC now and get it all going. It may not take off, but it might be fun. At the end of the day, I play a lot of games in my own time outside of going to gym and doing guitar, band stuff. So it'd be nice to do that with chat going, because one of the things that I've been enjoying about streaming more from home is getting to talk to people. All you guys that are coming and hanging out is really, really sick. And it's nice to have a community where I can like talk to you all and just have a laugh and, you know, play songs and make mistakes and build tones and share presets and all that kind of stuff. It's good fun. So, and I really appreciate everyone hanging out here and being here on a Saturday afternoon. Right. Should we do another tune? What should we do? Yeah, I do need to run. So I've barely practiced these. So I do need to run Arrival, and We Are Here as well. So I'm going to do that. So let's do Arrival next. I'm going to change the preset again. So apologies as my chat mic will disappear briefly. You've heard enough of my voice anyway. Is this right? I think this is the right one. Okay, let's give it a go. I knew that bit was going to get me. I knew it. That bit is hard for me. But that's why we do these things. We write these things so that we can challenge ourselves. But that's the bit that always gets me, because it's a weird time. It's not really you're fitting a lot in without really there being a lot of space to put it. It's horrible. And those licks. Anyway, I haven't played that in a long time, so that's good to get that out of the way on stream in public, technically, for everybody. But it's good fun. And if it's sounding all right-ish at this point, then by the time we do Summit, it's going to be fine. That's the way I like to think about things. Writing hard things and plays Dark Souls checks out. Yeah, 100%. You got to have that feeling of failure and picking yourself up and doing it again until you get it done. Yeah, there might be a bit of Marty in there for sure. Guy's got some really cool. I remember my mate showed me this Exotic Licks DVD when I was young, and there was a couple of things I learned from it that I think stuck. It's like watching Ola try be Jeff Loomis. Yeah, I'm not that good. Have I played the song Asylum in recent times? Yeah, I did it on stream kind of the other day. But yeah, what was I going to do now? I was going to. We can turn this into a more low gain affair. Why don't we do that for a bit? Let's get a bit ambient on it, shall we? We still have gain somewhere. A bit of it, turn that off. Shouldn't be that gainy. Oh, that's why it's channel 2. I wondered it was sounding really gainy. All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec, chat. I'll get this back. Boom. Like that should be better now. Yeah, there you go. Recently was listening to IDQD and aggressively typing in Excel at work. That's amazing. Yeah, it's an angry one. I like it. Yeah, what was I going to say? I can see. It's trying to with my band live, lots of fun stuff in there. Thanks. I always felt like I could learn to play it, get the funk out, play anything. It's one of those that get the funk out is definitely a challenge. But you know, the thing is, like, if you sit and all you do is practice lead, you're going to be sick at lead. If you sit and all you do is make riffs, you're going to be sicker at making riffs. For me, it's a combination of all of those things. I feel like when I'm sat on my own noodling away, I'll probably play a bit of lead a bit more. When I'm at the studio, I end up writing riffs. I try to focus more on songwriting and riffs these days than I do on lead. I don't sit there and actually practice just playing lead anymore, like when I was younger. And to my detriment, probably. Then people would say it is like Ola trying to play Jeff Loomis, you know. But at the end of the day, I still enjoy being able to play a bit of lead and have fun with that. So. I do have big hands. Yeah, so I'm running a 6L6 on one side and an EL34 on the other. I always do that because that's what I did in real life with the real amps. So new Carnival tunes are insane. Love it. So good. And the mix is so crispy. Big fan. Did you see him play I did see him play the Aussie medley. It was sick. Do I have the IDQD 14 preset on QC? Yes, I do. I was trying to play that the other day. It's been a while since I played that. That's another one with a cool. It's got a cool bit of lead in it. Let's see. What's the lead got like? Something like that. Let's see if we can play that. Where is it? In fact, I could probably... I don't know if I can remember it all. Should we just have a go? Should we just play IDQD and ruin it completely? Let's see. This is what I'm talking about. You get to these moments where you're like, I have no idea. I forgot about that bit at the end when I was in the last riff. So I was like, how does it go? I know what fret it starts on, but I can't remember how to play it. It's a funny little lick. It's so chromatic and weird. Like that. And it's funny because I completely forgot it was coming up, and I was playing the song. I'm like, oh yeah, that bit. Damn. So I knew I was gonna fluff it up. I don't think I'll play that one at the summit though. The challenge, it's funny to see you challenging yourself. The challenge is remembering the parts. Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm doing a live stream and everyone's watching, and I'm supposed to be playing this tune like I know what I'm doing. It's just so stupid. But I like that. I think it's fun. I don't know how it goes from that point on. Has anyone ever tried to play the Matter? Like the riff. That bit. How does it go? Ah. That bit. Ah. I don't know if he's in a weird tuning for that, but I worked it out in a standard drop C. Dead Man on drums, impossible. Yeah, it's good. I like your heavier songs. Growing Pains is one of my favorites. Well, you're in luck, sir, because I also need to practice that one. So shall we do that? And then how long have I been on stream for? I have no idea how long I've been streaming for at this stage. It's probably a while. Let's see. Oh, an hour and 18. Okay. Let's do Growing Pains, shall we? Again, apologies, but my chat mic will disappear when I load it up. Clinics. NAM. I really love playing that one. It's a lot of fun. It's very Tosca. That was the vibe there. Thank you for saying it's a banger. In the Face of the Nameless does have some hard riffs. You are right there. Haven't played that. I do not remember the last time I played that song. We're going back years. I could not attempt to play that right now because I don't know where my riffs go. Don't know where my fingers go for those riffs, so that's not a good idea. I guess it is kind of a performance. Wasn't necessarily. I'm practicing for the Guitar Summit, and I figured it would be fun to play on stream at the same time. So I don't care if I make mistakes. The point of practice is to iron out those mistakes, and if I'm sharing it with you guys, then that's cool. That's the way I see it anyway. I really love playing that riff. That bit. So much fun. And then the bit that I guess I didn't manage to maybe communicate it as well as I wanted to was the... It never came across like properly on the song because it involves a really cool technique where I'm doing this kind of... This is in 7/8, so you're doing like a hybrid pick thing. And then it's like pluck, pick, hammer on, hammer on. And then you pick and then do 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not exactly selective picking, because selective picking doesn't necessarily incorporate the hybrid pick and the picking and the hammer-ons and stuff. I suppose because selective picking got coined a thing in the last few years, and so you could call it that. But for me, it came from practicing Nuno licks. And then adding the pluck in there as well. And I started to do it like, again, there's a solo on Waiting for the Punchline by Extreme where he does pluck, pick. Well, actually, he picks it all. And he's doing this kind of thing. But I learned to pluck, pick. So... And I learned that when I was younger. Like that, basically. And incorporated that in with the hammer-ons and stuff. So that kind of... As you hear. You need the right tone, of course. But yeah, you get the idea. It is similar to Silo. Yeah, what was that? Yeah, that's different. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. It's in 5. Yeah. Bloody hell, I can't remember that. Something like that. Yeah, Nuno influenced my playing a lot in so many ways. Especially if you're just doing the kind of like of that. Like all that kind of playing with a groove in your head. You know what I mean? I don't know what the last note was. I'm just messing around. Satriani as well in the mellow stuff for sure. I mean, the two big ones were Nuno and Satch, really, I would say. Not so much Satch, not so much for the shred, for more of the softer side of his playing that I really, really liked. Nuno for me was all the shred and the wow factor, but like what I really liked about Satriani, let's see if I can get a nice tone for this kind of thing. Like lots, and then if we pull down the bit of that maybe. And then we'll turn up the reverb. You know, all that kind of stuff. Like that for me is like where Satriani shines. Obviously he's incredible, don't get me wrong, but for me I felt like his lead work was all in the melody over anything else. And Nuno, again, he has great melody, but he also has that like wow factor thing in the sense of the way he percussively plays those licks and stuff, whereas for me Satriani had a really vocal approach. What actually happened to the Sterling signatures? No, man, they're coming at the end of October. They're absolutely coming at the end of October. Any thoughts on melody, harmony, and rhythm, and how you balance them when writing? Are you talking about writing lead? If you're talking about writing lead, I think that's different. It's like I don't know. Like what's a good way of giving you an example of this? Okay, let's take the Growing Pains middle section. So the idea here being, because it's playing round a first thing you have to think in that situation is it sounds like it's minor. Sorry. That sounds to me like it's coming from the minor scale. So with that in mind, I know that it's going to sound minor. So then it's a case of, and when I'm thinking about, if I'm improving, like I improved in that bit just now when I played through the song, the easiest thing to do is to start something simple and then build out from there. So we'll run it a couple of times. What was that? 243. So. So the root. So there's no real timing there. So I'm choosing to stay around the B and the E string, and I'm playing the root. It's just a minor scale, but it's the way that you order the notes and mess around with it. And then for me, it's articulation. It's like bends, slides. How am I articulating the ideas? How much space am I going to leave to breathe in that section? So, what was it, 243? So like, trying to, I suppose I was attempting to be simple with that, just to sort of play around that minor scale a bit. And really just experiment with, like, find a group of notes or find a series of frets and notes, like in this situation. Like I'm just sort of playing around a couple of positions of just a minor scale. And then if I know that's my sort of area that I'm going to be messing with in terms of melody, then the next thing I'll be thinking about is rhythm. So rhythmic phrasing, just dancing around the groove a bit. Yeah, again, let me do that again, and then I was probably being too over the top with that. But you get the idea. I'm sort of trying to find ways I can dance around the groove a bit. That's totally not in the scale. Let me do it one more time. Trying to get my point across whilst thinking about it at the same time. the idea. I've never played over that before. So I got carried away. The idea being that I'm experimenting. I suppose it's one of those things. I'm thinking about it and it becomes harder. As a result of doing it a lot and practicing it and playing along to songs and finding jam tracks that I can play over and then sort of experiment with those kind of phrases and start to get used to rhythmic phrasing and melodic phrasing and stuff, you get to a point where you're not really thinking about it, you're just feeling it out and you just play and you feel it out. And what you probably noticed there was a couple of times I tried to go back and do it and I was overthinking because I'm not used to consciously thinking about it and trying to demonstrate that. You just kind of, when you're improvising and you're just kind of messing around, you're not really conscious. It's like a flow thing. Of course, if you've heard the phrase flow state, that's what that is. So on that last attempt, I suppose I went back and just tried not to think so hard about what I was doing. And it felt a little more fluid, I suppose. But I guess where I would go from is find the scale, like find the feel of the chord progression, the section, then work out, is it minor, major, like what can I, start basic and work your way up and then find an area of the fretboard with some notes that fit and then practice like playing articulation. When I say articulation, I mean bends and slides, like you're articulating in the way you pick, like palm muted, hammer-ons, legato, sliding. Or bending. Whatever. The point is, choose an area of the fretboard that works, then start experimenting with tone production, like articulation, phrasing, rhythmic phrasing. So how I'm going to make it interesting rather than just playing around the beat, on the beat, play around it, start messing around with different, articulate your ideas differently. Try it with your fingers. Because you can mute the string immediately with your fingers, so you can't really do it with the pick as easy. Sounds different. Like pre-bends. Or bend. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways you can articulate a note. So yeah, you want to experiment. There's multiple things. There's like choosing your notes and your area of the fretboard to focus in on. Then start to think about how I can articulate the notes. Rhythmic phrasing. How much am I playing? How little am I playing? Messing around like that. Then it's like, just experimenting and practice that over and over again. Choose a jam track that works really well for you so that you can just experiment your ideas and don't be overthinking. Don't be self-conscious. Let your ideas run wild with you. And, you'll make mistakes and hit, like I made a bunch of mistakes there. Like I always make mistakes, but the more you do it, the more you allow yourself to like let go and just be in the moment, the more it feels natural, so that when you do get to writing solos and writing lead sections and stuff, you end up going into that state first. And so then the solos become more of an expression of that mindset rather than thinking about every single note, That's what I do when I'm thinking of writing a solo. I choose the sections and then I just go into that place and then sort of whittle it down to an idea and then sort of grab hold of that. So I don't have to practice Black Friday. No, it came on earlier and I was like, I haven't played that in time. I cannot remember that for the life of me. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. That was a really long-winded way of talking about the answer to the question. And within that, I demonstrated really badly and then tried. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult to articulate that concisely, but hopefully it made sense to some of you guys. Thinking too much kills flow. 100% agree. That's the thing. Try not to think. Mistakes make music feel human. That is true. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm going to wrap this up shortly. I've been on here for quite a while now. But it's been really fun again. And like I said to you guys before, like it's fun to just hang out and mess around and talk guitar and, you know, just play some tracks and have a bit of fun. I'll play one more song because I need to practice it anyway. Shall I do that? And then we'll call it a day. I think that might be fun. Where is it? Okay. I feel spoiled with these streams. Thank you much for doing them. I appreciate that, man. Like, I'm just having fun playing with you guys, like playing guitar and hanging out with you guys online and trying to do it a little bit more often. I think it's a good way of connecting with everybody. It puts me on the spot for playing as well, like having to try and play and get used to the idea of performing, like, you know, on your own with your own stuff as well. So that's really fun. So yeah, hopefully it wasn't too bad. Made a couple of mistakes, but again, it's been months since I played these, so it's nice to challenge myself and do it on stream as well. Warts and all the rest of it. And as we, you know, as I keep saying, I want to do this more often, just hanging out, just talking about tone and guitar stuff and answering questions and getting into the geeky nitty gritty of stuff as well. It helps me, it helps you, then that's really cool. So yeah, we'll do it again soon. As I say, I'm going to the Guitar Summit end of next week, so I won't be doing anything over the weekend, but I'll try and fit another one in before I go. That'll be fun. And yeah, if you enjoy this stuff and you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. This is the shameless plug moment at the end of the stream now. If you want to see my band on tour, go in the description box. There's tickets. There's tickets to the Access Pass if you want to win some plugins. Come and hang out with the band at the gig. And, you know, we've got a bunch of cool stuff. So check out the links anyway. You know, whatever. But thank you very much for hanging out and listening to me rant and talk about guitar and all the rest of it. And I will catch you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Lens cap to fade out. Bye, guys.